Welcome to the Tubig Podcast, where we flow and we grow.
This was something that was born out of just a very, you always have those times where you just sit with people you love and that love really resonates and you come up with an idea and you're like, what the heck? Let's do it. The Tubig Podcast is really a platform that we want to help share if it's helpful to people, where we can just share our stories, raw and unfiltered. And something that we hope that, people who are perhaps looking for belonging or community or aspiring professionals who maybe can listen and laugh with us, with the things that we've experienced in life, maybe even learn something, who knows, can find something here that maybe will be valuable.
100%. I mean, it's, I recently, Christy was so kind to take me and Ro out for our birthdays in January. And this breakfast was just so filling to the heart, really, because, as we go through life, we go through different experiences and we have something to learn from each other, regardless of how old we are, the young and the old. And I think this is what's missing these days, is this sense of community, sense of connection, being unapologetically open about their experiences and having no worries that it will be taken the wrong way. And that, and being open to correction too, but a correction that is gentle and that helps you grow. Because let's be honest, if we want to grow, we have to be open for correction. And how does that happen if you're not candid about what's going on with you? And I'm just as guilty for that, right? And in our lives right now, we all seem to really need this, and we are willing to be raw and share it to the world, because as Filipinos, we are loving people and the world just really needs love right now. So, and these are beautiful, very experienced, professional, intelligent women that feel a lot too. And that's okay. It's actually okay.
The first lesson. It's okay to have feelings.
To have feelings
and to share your stories.
So, in the end of the day, we're just a bunch of friends, fully authentic and real with each other, and we thought that we would share this friendship. So, come along on this journey with us and listen to the Tubig Podcast, which Tubig actually means water in the Tagalog Filipino language. So that's why we named it that way, because sometimes we're just kind of going with the flow and figuring it out, but figure it out together with us.
That's right.
So,
and Tubig flows. It's essential to life. It's essential to our being. It is essential for connections with the world. And as Filipinos, this is actually part of our roots, with water, tubig, being critical to our life and our well-being and our existence.
And we are water, and also the earth is water. I mean, there's just so much that I love about it. And I love that, that this idea popped up into your head, because the idea that water just flows and it helps things grow. It's like that's what we do in life, is we flow with what life gives us. And then we give meaning to that, like whatever that ends up being, lessons learned, triumphs that you overcome, tips that you get that you share with others. And I just love it. Too big.
and it's just a really awesome thing. That's why we wanted to do this. We literally got this podcast together in like no time at all. We are just ridiculous planners, and I have total and utmost respect for these ladies.
It's an honor to be on the
It was
podcast.
barely 48 hours that this was born at a restaurant. So what?
3 days ago.
Exactly. But we wanted to really share with you our whys on why we're doing this in this kickoff. And for me personally, I mean, all I could think about was Bruce Lee. And, that could mean anything, because water can also be frozen. It doesn't necessarily flow sometimes. And I am, my sign is actually, I'm an ox in the Chinese zodiac. And what that means is you're almost like trudging through water. I always think about like this ox, just like kind of a carabao in the ocean, just kind of trudging through, trying to get through, but like steady, slow and steady wins the race kind of sometimes. But at the same time, we can't control what is thrown at us in life, right? You often have to surf the waves, if you will, in order to survive it. And for me, I think fighting it takes a lot more energy.
That is so true.
So, and that's the thing about water,
Yeah.
you know, and that brings me back to my memory of the first time I learned to surf. You really did feel free, but it's never easy to get to that point when you actually want to be surfing the waters. And by all means, water can also mean you don't want to, worst case scenario, drown.
Sure.
But and in the end of the day, I think one thing that we can all agree on is creativity and as an outlet. We are professionals. I'm a professional here in Houston in my job. And I always tell people, oh, I have my hard work and my heart work, right? That's like in my spiel and all my taglines. Everybody knows where I give my speech in public. But I know there were reasons that you guys also got into it. So, you know, tell me, I mean, maybe we could share with the audience our why and that. And for me, it was just a need to have an outlet to just be with my friends. But then I started to realize it was a really special friendship. And what we talked about is hilarious and it really is very meaningful. So, but then it was just kind of like, you know, what do they say, kismet. So we have to be able to capture that. Yeah. So Ro, I mean, I know there was a reason why you wanted to do this too.
I think my soul was craving creativity, and you know, we're just such creative beings. Humans are creative beings in general, you know, and I look up to you both, and we just had such wonderful conversations. And for me, what you all give to me is inspiration. It's exactly what I would hope to share with anyone who watches us. It's the things that I know that I get from you on a personal level and professional level: inspiration, encouragement. You know, there's so many times I've come to you both and asked you for advice. Like I've come stumped, I've come crying, you know, and like, you know, we've all have gone through so many different chapters of our lives. And in many ways, I see you going through these chapters ahead of me. And I think, oh, well, I'd love to learn from those who have walked the path before me and help leave a better path for those who walk after me, you know. The thing about water, though, that I love what Ate Christy was saying, and Ate means older sister in Tagalog and Filipino. So you'll hear me call them Ate Christy, Ate Dea, is that water is just such a bad, and we can bleep, okay, a bad A. It's, I don't know if we're going to bleep that later, but it's just such a cool and like a fierce.
Unapologetic.
It is a badass concept, you know? The disclaimer was there, okay. But because water is so resilient, it's gentle, it can purify, just like people, but it can also be very ferocious and very tenacious, you know, it can carve through rock. And I really think that that's like such a concept that resonates me with that we are just like water, and there's so many facets to water, and that I'd love to like explore that with you both and help, you know, explore that with anyone who finds value in this. So that's why that's my personal why, is to help people and share stories, because that's what we love to do. That's what I love to do. And it's part of like my soul work. Like she says, heart work. That's part of my soul. Anyways, you have to Dea.
And I think we have the most fun when we're storytelling, right? So Dea, it's your turn. Storytelling time. Yeah. Why do this with us? You know, why are we doing this?
So, you know, Ro and I just had a birthday in January, and I'm clearly in my midlife. Clearly, right? There's many signs. Like we were just pre-recording, I, you know, was kind of having the redness on my neck and this kind of stuff, just biological, physiological things. And to that point, I believe that, you know, just like Christy and just like Ro, it's a sense of community. We're so busy. This is like something that it's almost kind of like a guilty pleasure, right? Like we get to hang out, but given, and by the way, talk about water, we are gentle, but we are also very fierce women. Is that not true? Right?
I mean,
Yeah,
the truth.
it's the truth, right? So, yeah, exactly. And so my why is basically my children. That's always like a driving force for me. You know, I have my eldest son, Miro, who's 28 now, and my daughter, who's, you know, 12, turning 13 in the summer. And our family, whether they're coming, they're, growing or whatever stage they're at. And often, if we are sharing and we're learning from each other, when we are no longer around physically, and I'm not talking about morbidity here, which we can too, by the way, because at the end of the day, we will all pass. But when we are not physically close to each other, is that there's something to go to that can be a reminder of your presence and what you might have to say. And you'll never know if you said something yesterday or today or tomorrow that might have resonated for their time of need at point A, point B, or point C. Because like you said, like you both said, we're all journeying through this, through our lives, and we're experiencing and growing in different ways, in different stages. And what you have to share, Christy, what you have to share, Ro, what we can talk about here that naturally just emerges is something that can be helpful to our children, not just mine, but yours and the people out there, right? We all mature at different levels in different ways. Our growth is like so dynamic. And so having captured hopefully some of that, right? And encouraging others, like this is the type of dialogue that we should be having. And the baseline of this is trust, right? I mean, I don't think the three of us would have the feeling that we would be willing to share our conversation with others if we didn't tidbit about our breakfast, though, because that was our second breakfast at this brunch. And each time we're speaking here, we're talking about very real things. And when you get excited and you're just trusting the people that you're with, you're just spilling it out, right? Well, people sometimes can hear. And, both times we had people come up to us and essentially say that was so enjoyable and we weren't trying to eavesdrop or anything, which to me says, if we're engaging in conversation like that, would it not be great if we can share that with others as well? Because clearly we're all needing it. We're needing the conversation. And I will stop soon.
No, they were
No.
they were having FOMO, but not being in our conversation. No, you don't. You don't have to stop soon. Go with your flow, girl.
Yeah, this is unfiltered. Keep going.
But as far as water, it's always been healing for me. And the other additional aspect of water for me, especially I love the beach, I love the ocean and the waves, is that consistency. Yeah. Those waves are constant. It's like the sunlight every day. It is there. It is present. And when things become uncertain, we don't know the answers, and the questions and the problems are so complex. The baseline of what we all essentially need, our hearts just need to know that there's something constant, right? And I think that's why when I look at the ocean, especially when I'm searching or tapped out, it's that, right? And that's a gift to all of us,
And I think like whenever I see the ocean, just like what you're saying, it's just something about it. And I really believe that like it also ties to our DNA, like I'm a really proud, Filipina American. And like, I really think that there's like some kind of feeling when you look at water or an island, and you're like, something about it is yearning to connect. And I really think it's like our DNA,
I think so too. Yeah. I think so too. I think I at the end of the day, we're so, when you look at the Philippines, and of course, you were born and raised here in the US, right? Okay. And Christy, so were you? Okay. So at the end of the day, like what you're saying, the DNA, right? It's ingrained in us, right? And it's just something that it just feels like home, doesn't it?
I went tribal personally when I first learned how to surf. I mean, I'm usually scared of the water because I don't know how to really swim, but I think I got really dark. As my Lola would say, black.
Oh my God.
I was that too.
So she'd, why are you so black?
And there's nothing wrong with
No, it isn't, but that's what I grew up with. And, but I remember I didn't care. I was like sandy. once you ride a wave in surfing, it's just, I went native.
It's the
I was
best
like,
feeling. Surfing
you know,
is just,
I was like, this is where I belong,
Yeah.
and, Dad loves, the ocean gives you food to fishermen, but hopefully you're not in the ocean wanting beef food to fish. Anyways, I'm losing myself in the water metaphor here.
I love it. I think
Yeah,
it's like
no.
the ocean does, like it gives you nourishment. But the thing about the ocean is it is calming and it will calm your stress. But don't mess with Mother Nature, like
that's the beauty. I love that aspect though.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's like it's calming, it provides, but you better respect it.
Oh yeah.
You better respect
Maybe
respect
that's a
it.
metaphor for Filipino women.
my husband, I'm like, you married a Filipino woman, okay? Like we are strong-willed, matriarchal.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we could probably go and talk for almost 4 hours, which by the way is about how long each brunch took. But
Maybe
I mean, if you want to get to know me, it's just like I said, I have my hard work, I have my heart work. I am still working as a professional in corporate America in the energy industry. Somewhere.
you're
in the
also an
South.
author.
Right. So I'm also an author of the Filipinos in Houston, nonprofit involvement. So obviously for making sure, I guess maybe the mantra that I would use for my personal motto is that I'd like to see Filipino American history or Asian American history become part of sustainable education.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would one day include maybe write a movie, to write a poem, to write, a song, all those things. I believe that artists are our historians.
Yeah.
And they are the ones that are very important to preserve that history because they are documenting what's happening around them. So very much a champion of the arts. I have a daughter who was in the arts as well. So, and then I myself also have an art degree. We're in a STEM city.
All the secrets are coming out.
Figure it out. I don't know why but it's just one of those dualities that that I've always lived with. Being an artist and trying to figure out the twist of logic that goes along with it, right? Because we always have to balance those two sides of our being Asian, much less Filipino. Your parents want you to have a great and good job, but then they want you to be able to sing in front of the family
Or do piano
at the
lessons.
events,
Such a true
and
story.
take piano lessons.
How many good piano lessons?
I mean, we have to be like these amazing superheroes that can and then deliver and cook and pancit and lumpia and I mean.
it's like you're
It's a
juggling
lot of pressure, right?
Especially you. I
Right,
think you do the most.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of brothers and sisters, and I think that you become the sort of de facto leader when you aren't really sure you're ready to be one.
Yeah.